See here again. Do you know what I mean? Check this. This is the latest. This is out. This is everywhere. You need to see this track.
You're looking for change. You wanna give up and you can't run
Can't get out. You know what I mean? This is the number one song right now.
You're losing your head.
People are losing their head.
Over some stress and
That's what I'm saying. People are getting stressed out.
you're losing your mind.
People are lost it. They're losing their mind out here.
Bad advice.
They're getting advice, bad advice. Where they're gonna get good advice from? Mr. C, the man gives you the best advice. You know what I mean? It's all about the mind. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, check this. Today, I wanted to talk about Mr. C's journey and how I became Mr. C and how it all goes about. You know, as many of you know by now, I was Choco down from back in the days. C to the H to the O to the C-O. Do you get me? This is what everybody used to know me as. Everyone used to call me as Choco. You know what I mean? Now, these days, just one sec. I want to check. Is the volume on? Yeah. Just double check. Is it red on there? On there? No, on there, man. Is it red on there? It says on volume. Yeah, it's on. It's on. Yeah. So I got the sound on. I'm on. I just wanted to make sure before I start talking. Do you know what I mean? Like back in the days when Mr. C was out here, you know, I was Choco, and then as I grew into the professional society, started to build up my career and everything, you know, a lot of people started to know me as Mr. C. Do you get me? This is what everyone started to call me, Mr. C. Then I knew I had potential. Like I always knew, like one of my strengths is my voice, right? I can change my voice into 3 to 4 different things. Like I can change it into 3 to 4 different tones. I can change it into 3 to 4 different manners of speech, etc. So that's how Mr. C became Mr. C. And when we run the promos for this, etc., like today I want to show you like how from back in the days, how I went from being Mr. C in the early days to then being Mr. C who I am today. Do you know what I mean? And this is my journey. Like you know, it wasn't easy. Do you get me? Like when Osmans grew up, I'm talking Osmans. When I say Osman, I mean me and my crew from back in the days. Like you know, when people talk about gangster shit, you know, I'm telling you, we were real G's out here. We were being gangster when people didn't even know what gangster was. Do you know what I'm saying? We were being G's when people were thinking what G unit and all this was. Do you know what I'm saying? We were living the thug life. We were being thugs, you know, and I am proud about it. Do you get me? Like, but I have to tell you the way it was. Like we were being thugs, not just, you know, for the sake of being thugs, but also for the community, for the broader community, for the thing, for you know, people were being bullied, people were being harassed, people were being, you know, like we had to take a lot of shit. You get me? People had to take a lot of shit back in the days. So somebody had to come up and become like the speaker for it. Like someone had to say shit, someone had to do shit. You know what I mean? Who do you think did all that shit? It was Osmans. You know what I'm saying? Osman, we had to represent. What did we represent? We represented the BSM crew. We represented the Mandem. We represented the hood. And I'm not just saying me and things like that. There's a lot of mans out there who are similar, like they represented their hoods. You know what I mean? They represented their little areas, but obviously someone became fucked up and shit. Like someone became, you know, so someone went into some other avenues. You get me? Like they went a bit all out. Like the difference with Mr. C is, like Mr. C is a consultant. Mr. C is a professional at the same time. Mr. C has certain values that these other goons don't have. Do you get me? Mr. C, like you go see now what I did in my professional career as well, what I've been able to achieve, what I've been able to accomplish. I don't know any man from my hood that's been able to accomplish what I've done today. And this is not just a boast, but this is also just to share and tell you like what Mr. C has been able to achieve right about now. Do you know what I mean? And this came through how hard work, professionalism, and like grafting. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest dog going. I'm not saying that, but man, I'm big to the level of being big. Do you know what I mean? And people need to start respecting that sort of level of ambition and that level of accomplishment. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the message is about today. Like how Mr. C came from, where I came from. I came from nothing. You know what I mean? From nothing to then, you know, like, look, one of the stories I shared with people the other day, like, you know, there was a report where a man who grew up in a similar situation to me is 5 times more likely to end up, what was it, 20 times more likely to be a high school dropout, 9 times more likely to be in jail or something like that, or was it 20 times more likely to be in jail, 9 times more likely to be a high school dropout, and 5 times more likely to be what do you call it, something else. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. But I read that report, I spoke about that report, and I'm telling you, the odds, even when all the odds were against the mans like me, you see, all the other mans, they ended up messing up. They ended up becoming part of the odds. When what I did, I ended up overcoming the odds. Do you know what I mean? Now, Mr. C, when we developed Mr. C, we pulled out 3 to 4 tunes. When you listen to these tunes, these are not your ordinary tracks, right? You listen to the first track, it's called Time. Now, what was Time all about? I'm gonna tell you now. Now, Time was a bad man track. Do you know what I mean? Not like your gangster shit, but I'm telling you, like the bad man track, as in it's a timeless track. Do you get me? Like, it's all about time, you know. So many, like, days go by, months go by, and the years go past. Like, it tells you how, you know, times are just flying by, and you know, time is against you, basically. That's what the meaning behind that is. When you look at the song 7 Billion, you know, that's about people. That's about the troubles, the frustrations. You know, people in my hood, my community, people in all walks of life can relate to the track. You know what I mean? They have to, because people go through frustration. People go through everything I talk about in those lyrics. People actually go through. So when you listen to those lyrics, you will know that it's all about problem solving as well. So when you listen to those lyrics, you'll know exactly what I meant just by listening to it. Do you know what I mean? And it's as clear as, I'm dead with terminologies, but it's clear as bread, clear as butter. That's all I want to say. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Then we have Mind of a Man, the third track. This is the classical track right now in the pandemic and everything. You know, Mind of a Man. This is the #1 track that anybody needs to listen to. You know, it will give you a hope. It will give you, you know, it tells you about how to, like, what I sing about in that track and the lyrics. When you listen to it, it's like how to, the mind is everything. Do you know what I mean? It's the mind of a man. Like, no matter what sort of stuff, what sort of shit you're going through, but your mind, if you find peace in it, then you can go through anything. You can make it through. You can break it through. You need to focus. You need to have ambition. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to be a doer. You know what I mean? You can't be a talker. You need to be a worker. You know what I mean? All of this shit that people talk about. You know what I mean? That you got too many mans out here. You know, they want to be road mans these days. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Fair enough. Man, I'm from the hood, but man, I'm not no road man. You get me? I tell you straight, like, man, I'm from the hood, but yo, man, I'm not no road man. You know, man, done all that gangster shit. But when we were gangster shit, we were not no road man. We were just fucking thugs. You get me? We were like, yo, what? You know what I'm saying? And what shit? You know what I mean? But man was young back then. You get me? Now man got kids. Man, my kids are growing up and everything. Man got no time for that shit. You get me? But man, I'm telling you, like, when those man were going, when it was bad man shit, we were the bad mans. You get me? We didn't fear. We had no fear. We feared nothing. You get me? We had a crew. The crew was together. We were close. Do you get me? Like I said, our crew were big. You know, like the crew's not there no more. You know what I mean? Like everyone, the certain man, the gone certain man. You know, they're locked up. Someone doing time. Someone they change. Their mind's not there. You know, the mind of a man is. You know, even they're going through shit. Do you get me? Even certain man, you know, they don't have the energy to deal with the shit. Even I don't. You know what I mean? Like right about now, you tell me about beef, I'll be like, yo, forget it. Do you get me? But back in the day, you tell me about beef, I'll be the first one there with my back, with my thing. You know what I mean? Like pop, pop, pop. It was all out. Do you get me? That's how it was back in the days. Do you know what I mean? Osman, you know, the amount of Australians that we used to have. Do you get me? Osman were always strapped up. Do you get me? Bare time. Man was strapped up. Bare times. Do you get me? Back in the days. But look it. Shit never kicked off. You know what I mean? Lucky shit never kicked off, or as fuck knows what would have happened. You know what I mean? It would have been wildfire out there because certain mans were ready, tooled up like to mad. That's what I'm saying. Do you get me? Like, but the thing is, we were intelligent. That's the thing. We weren't dumb. Do you get me? We weren't fucking dumb to do dumb shit. You know what I mean? We weren't daft. You know, we were crazy, but we weren't daft. That's the difference. Do you get me? But now you see Mr. C, you know, Choco Don out here don't exist no more. You get me? That's a past history. But you know what? I have to bring the history up. Why? Because also, you know, the people need to recognize what the Bankside crew went through, what the people in Hills went through, the people in Ghetto, Chapitan, you know, went through. You know what I mean? Like Osman, the struggles we went through, it was a similar situation. You know, the youths of today, what do they know? What do they know about jump up and down and shit? They don't know. Again, what do they know about when man were getting taxed? What do they know about when the phones came out? You know what I mean? Man had the latest phones. You get me? You had goons out there robbing the phones off you and shit. You had to click up so that you don't get jacked. Do you know what I mean? What do they know about when drugs were first introduced into the hoods? People were bringing it to man like, yo, old man never fucking even took. You know what? None of us mans, like most of my crew, my crew, none of us mans, we sold drugs and shit. We weren't even bothered about that shit. We weren't into that. We were thugs for the sake of being thugs. What am I telling you? The mans these days, they're on the street corners. Yeah. They got the shit. You know what I mean? They're hustling out and this stuff. What the fuck? Us man used to work. You get me? We used to have jobs back then. Then we used to be on the street like chilling, clicking up, and we were there for each other for the sake of love. Not for the sake of drugs, for the sake of love, for the sake of friendship, for true, you know what I mean, hardships together and all that shit. But these days, man, the youths, fucking hell, I don't know what to say about them. But that's all I gotta say. Some of the youths, they need to know this. You get me? They need to know the history. They need to know that there was certain, you know, there was no collaboration at certain times. Do you get me? There was certain official things that took place, certain unofficial things that took place, certain, you know, things that happened that can't even be spoke of right about now. You know what I mean? Not on this platform anyway today. You get me? Because, you know what I mean? It was bad. It was bad. You know what I mean? Even in London, like, you know, I used to go down London, regular when I was in my youth, when Choco Don was known even in London. And I'm telling you, like, from Leeds to London, mans were blessed. Do you get me? Man were representing. You get me? Even the peeps over there, they know what going about Choco down there. Do you get me? Like, what happened? You get me? Certain mans in certain areas, like you know, man were big out there. Do you get me? You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say today. Like, you know, the journey, and from where I went, from where I came from to where I am today, all my days, it's been a journey. Do you get me? And to produce these tracks, like, you know, when you like my tracks, they're all meaningful. This is the point. It's all motivational. This is the point. It's all about, you know what I mean, how you can get out from the fucking hood to becoming somewhere and becoming an elite master of your intuition and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're mastering your intuition. You don't know about intuition? Check out Intuition Academy and you find out what that is. Do you know what I mean? And that's me in my other role where, and I'm telling you, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to go back, revert back to who I was from back in the days, just to be Mr. C and the original Mr. C again. Do you get me? Because this is not, you know what I mean? I had to put, like, this is not no show. This is how I was. This is like Mr. C back in the days. Do you get me? This is the real deal out here. But then when you hear, like, you know, when I'm the master of intuition, when you listen to me there, you probably think, yo, this is, but that's me too. But you guys won't get it because, you know what I mean? It takes you time to understand what the hell happened to Mr. C and the journey. Then you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? So peace out, people. And I hope to see you on another live. Yeah. Peace out.